Okay. So I will be looking, yes, at the camera. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So nice to meet you, Mr. Sergey Martusevich. So we are very glad we're having here the class of the Leadership Development Program from the QMAP University and our guests of the Leadership Development Program, the students from other courses as well, you know, some students who are also having marketing specialization. So we would like to thank you very much for accepting our invitation to come and talk to our students today. So welcome to the Leadership Development Program and the QMAP University as well. So dear leadership development students and here the guests of the program and the faculty and our administration. So very welcome, you're very welcome to the Leadership Development Program. And today we have Mr. Sergey Martusevich, who is the Senior Marketing Strategist Consultant. So this is very well known in, you know, like in this region and European region and East Asia company, international branding agency that is called Mildberry. And Sergey is having really extensive, like more than 30 years of experience in management and marketing strategy consulting and in new product development, in innovation management, and in portfolio management. So he was leading really many projects, innovation development projects, for Toyota, for example, for Coca-Cola, for PepsiCo, and for Tetra Pak. So also Sergey was working here in Almaty. Right now he's working in Europe. So thank you very much again, Sergey. The floor is yours. So let us welcome Sergey
now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for very warm welcome. And today's topic is about marketing leadership. And as already said, I had about 30 years experience with hands-on with marketing, and I watched leaders. I had an honor to be part of the projects which can be considered the global leadership project. So, and this is my view based on experience, based on some knowledge. It's like a mix of personal experience and knowledge I learned from many teachers and many books to give you the view, the scope of how the leadership and marketing could be, and it could be done through the strong brand, because this is my specialty. This is how I see the world. Maybe you can see the world differently. This is fine. But let's see what I came up with. So today's agenda is kind of, it's like a funnel. We go step by step and go more focused. First, of course, introduction. Then we spoke generally about what leadership, what is leader 9.9, what is 9.9 itself means. Then we go down to leading business strategies. Then we go down to marketing leadership strategies and how it goes into the strong brand. And then finally, a short, like a summary of what a true leader checklist should be, as I see it. Okay, short introduction. As already said, I have actually 1992 was the November 1992 was the first job I got as business development, and since then I was there with different companies, but small, big, but of course the big names are better to understand the scope. So this is just a few of the names I was part of projects I had a chance to work and to do some real things, to do things like new product development, innovations, branding, rebranding, product launch, product relaunch, product even removal from the market. So everything is there. And just a few words about where I work now. We are international cross-functional team. We are dispersed through the globe now, and We have people in Europe, we have people in Asia, and we are experts in brand development and strategies and communications. We operate more than 23 years. We had more than 600 clients, and we had very good projects. And some of the clients are listed here. So you could see they are different. Of course, we are concentrated more on Eastern Europe, but we were not limited, and we did some global projects as well. And let's go back to our topic. First of all, a little bit philosophy. Who is the leader? Because sometimes the leader is there is a misconception about who is the leader. There is a lot of things in internet. You can see the difference between the true leader and the boss, because the boss sometimes it's the authority which was designated to be the boss, but he would not be a leader, and a leader usually comes naturally. And for me, the leader is the one who leads, the one who first of all sees the way where to go. Then the leader goes that way himself, and he goes there first. Because if he sends someone and he doesn't know what's there, then that is not the leader, because the leader goes and he leads, and then he motivates people to reach the goal, to go with him on this way. This is how I think we should define the leader. And well, as the leader sees the picture, there are always two ways to see the picture. For example, there is a nice picture of the sky and the waves, and someone would say what they see in the picture. Someone would say the poetry, like they hear the whisper of the surf, they hear the wind, they hear the noise of the sea. Someone will remember their romantic holidays by the beach. Someone will dream of the life in paradise. So this is one way to see the picture. You would say, what's the another way? Oh, of course, there's another way. Another way is, well, the guys who do the weather forecast, they will see this picture and they say, maybe it's Norway and it's very cold, you know. What's the water and air temperature? What's the longitude and latitude of this picture? Well, and there is one more thing. My son, who is an automotive engineer, once we had a vacation with him by the sea, and he was showing me the waves, and he told me, do you know that you can describe the waves by the differential equations? For me, it was like, you know, this striking, like a revelation, because I didn't know that. For me, it's just the wave. For him, for the engineer, it's a mathematics, you know. So now we understand that people can see the world in two ways, and the same thing goes to the corporations, to the businesses. There are people who can see the business through perception, through just visions, through the words, and some people see through the exact numbers. The one who see through exact numbers are the people who work with production, with logistics, with finance, like investors. They would like to know about the finance and the money. And the perception vision is people who work in PR and marketing, because they deal more with words, with images. Now, stakeholders, they need the whole picture. Yeah, even target audience, your consumers, they don't know your numbers, they don't know your sales, they know just what you are in general, what the perception. So the role of the leader in this case is to speak both. They need to understand both languages, they need to understand both pictures, and they need to combine them to make them, you know, to make the business successful, to make them synchronize, to make them work in synergy. That's what I put as leader 9.9. 9.9 is about balance, 9 and on one side and 9 another side, and I will drill on it a little bit more. We heard many definitions now with numbers like Web 3.0, Marketing 4.0, Everyone who has iPhone knows about iOS 15.7. And let's see what is 9.9 with leadership. First of all, let's like introduce it philosophical way. Leadership is always a balance. It is always about a balance. It is always about the work and life. It is always about the qualities that you were naturally born with as a leader, and some things that you consciously acquired, because leader is not the leader if he is not practicing his leadership and gaining something more. Then there is a balance between personal interest and the business goals. Of course, everybody, you cannot be just simply business oriented without personal interest. But if you have only personal interests in your career, then business will fail. So that means the balance should be there. And another thing is the balance between theory and practice is crucial too, because if you have only theory, when you go to practice, what should you do when you do it in real life? But when you had the real practice, it's a good thing. But without theoretical knowledge, without expanding of your limited experience, then there is no way to be a leader as well. So it's always a combination, and the combination is good when it's in balance. And 9.9 is about balance. It's actually a model of behavioral leadership, which was developed back in the 1960s by the group of, it was developed in the university actually, so you can develop it more or develop your own as a leaders, It was developed, I think it was in America, and it was developed to understand how business work on a scale of two ways. First, it is concern for production. So those points from 1 to 9 means just the mark, the evaluation how business works. Lowest is 1 point and highest is 9. And the companies were assessed or evaluated from this point how they deal with production. And they were given many different in many different questions. They were given many different marks. So just people were interviewed and given the marks. Another side of it, another axis, the vertical axis, is the concern for people. So how company treats people, how people feel about the business. And same goes here. The points were given. And actually, the real picture in various ways was that this score could be different on this grid anywhere in this place. And the worst doing companies, they were doing these low ways or low margin. When there is too much about the production and less about the people, it's bad for business. And when there is too much about the people and no company doesn't care about what they produce, what the result is, then it's also poor for the people. Same way, it's not good if you only halfway there, if you only halfway good with production and halfway good with people. So the best way, of course, is 9.9. That's where the balance comes in. And those models, those extreme pieces of management types, they call them 5 types of leaders. Of course, the poorest one is the impoverished management, where management is not really caring about nor production nor people. Then there is authority compliance management, where the management just gives the orders, and they care mostly about how they produce, but they don't care about the people. Another one is the country club management, where people feel, like they're on vacation, like they're on the resort, but that's why they don't do much and the business is suffering. And there is a middle of the road management, 5.5. And of course, there is a team management, when there is a united team, when the team members care about each other, and they care about the business, they care about the product. And this is considered to be the most effective form of the leadership, according to this grid. So that's why 9.9 is the perfect balance and for this thing. I can hear someone. Can you mute yourself, please? Okay. This is the sorry, I can hear someone. Okay, so this is the team management is highest with concern for people and concern for production, and it's most effective form of leadership because there is a process between there is a synergy between processes and the people, and it's a top management level, it's highest management level, and it gets you the best results. For you to understand it more, I give there is a source for it, the name of the book, so you can maybe check on it later. It's a very nice theory, and if you had a chance to practice it, I actually went through the training myself by the founders of this theory, and it's really really helps to me personal life as well, actually. Okay, let's we summed up the balance. Let's talk about how do we do in a business. What are the leading strategies in a business? To generalize, there are generally three types of business strategy. One business strategy goes for existing markets. Actually, there are three types of markets where the strategy are. So first is existing markets. That's what the market is existing. There are goods, people are buying it. There are money, there are consumers. Then there are emerging markets. They could be geographically, or they could be like a new products, new categories. They just appearing, and people are just starting to buying them. And there are expected markets, which are now being prepared. So people are waiting for them, or people are they're not coming to some markets yet, so people are looking for them. And on each type of market, there is a certain strategy for this type of market. For the first type of market, it's for existing market, it's a follow the mainstream. Of course, it's not limited by only existing markets. They're always looking into the possibilities to extend, and they're looking to the emerging markets. That's why this placeholder is on both lines for existing and emerging markets. But still, it's there is a mainstream, there is a main product, and you follow this path. The next strategy is you find the special trend, and then you ride it, then you utilize it, like Amazon did. They were just selling books on the internet, but there was a trend for the e-commerce, and they were the first one to grab it and to develop it into the huge marketplace. And the third trend is the third strategy of a business is you create the trend yourself. So like Netflix did before, they were just renting the videos and DVDs, you know. So what they did, they started to stream them. And this created the whole new market, the whole new trend. So now on every market, you will see the streaming services all around. So there are three main types of strategy. And let's see what the opportunities and risks on each strategy. First strategy for existing markets. Of course, the market is there, the volumes are high, but there are many players, and it means it's highly competitive. So you have to be strong there. You have to compete. The second strategy is that means that there is a good perspective coming. It's probable, but still the volumes can be unclear. Would it be big market or would it be small market? Nobody knows, because it's still like developing, and where it stops, nobody knows. Maybe it's going big. And there are high perspective, but all high risks. Trying to create and markets is they fail. We usually know about only the stories about the one who succeeded, but actually I've read that statistically only one of at least 100 succeeds. So it means 99 failed on that way. What the reason were, maybe they were too early, maybe they were not prepared, it doesn't matter, but still the risk is highest there. Because the market could be unusual, and you wouldn't know if you don't come prepared for that. So what are the requirements to work on that market? For the existing market, of course, it's a quality brand, because the mainstream market needs something that is reliable and people can return with their money to purchase, you know. But as it requires a quality brand, it requires a huge investment. Procter & Gamble is known as one of the major advertiser on many markets. That's just due to this reason, because they have to maintain their market share, they have to maintain their voice, and they have to invest a lot into the both product quality and both their voice on the market. Otherwise, the new players, they will go with better products and they will just mute them, you know. So for the next strategy, this requires marketing for both directions, both for brand marketing and the consumer marketing. You have to work with the consumer to understand it more, to understand them more, to understand where market goes, where the trends are. And maybe sometimes you have to rule the trend, but still you have to do the intensive branding and marketing there as well. And for the third strategy, it requires innovative approach. It requires innovative brand, and it requires human-centric brand. What is human-centric? I will speak more in detail a little bit later, but this is the requirement. So what could be the marketing strategy for these three types of business strategy? Actually, there are two like general marketing strategies. First one is you create and maintain a strong brand, and this brand leads the whole category, and it has a strong position within the category. And another one, you create the whole category, and you first of all you dominate it, but of course there will be competitors that will bite your market share, but still you can lead the whole category, and you will be number one on it for the long time, and you can enjoy the being a leader on this. And let's see what for this marketing strategy of category leadership, what are the benchmarks? I give you a couple examples because too much theory is boring, I know. First of all is Red Bull. It's just an energy drink, but it's a category creator. They actually built the category of energy drinks. They were the first one who made this category huge. And how they do it, what's their strategy? They just make their brand present where the people need energy most. For example, where they need the drive, in sports, in concerts, in music, in dancing, in some activities. Maybe it's a brain activity or maybe it's a physical activity. And they are promoting the effect that you drink it and it gives you wings and you can go on and even do better. And the third part of their strategy is that they also always innovate. They innovate within products, and they innovate in the way how they give you the wings, how they entertain you. And how they do this, they will create they will sponsor some adrenaline sports. They will brand their own championship. They create their own teams and make them really successful. They invest a lot into these teams. For example, like the one in the Formula One, which is I think couple of years champion in Formula. And they create their own championship. Beside Formula One, Red Bull has this, you can see airplane on the screen. They have this famous air race, which they do in many famous places. But besides sports, they also brand and sports and nightlife events, cultural events like festivals, and this is where they expand. And another thing, they're since 2000, they're on TV screen with the same artwork, with the same ads. These cartoonish characters which which escape strange situations with the help of Red Bull, because it gives them the wings. Another example is the Jeep. The Jeep is the legendary brand, actually. It's not only the creator of category, it created the whole lifestyle. Simply, it's a simple off-road vehicle. It's even sometimes more simple than the city sedan, but it's way more expensive. And why? Because people love it. And the brand is, what's their strategy? The brand is promoted as a source of inspiration for adventure. The adventure, the people who has adventure in their blood, they cannot live without Jeep, you know. And they also have extensive community marketing. If you go for Instagram, for example, and put hashtag Jeep, you will see hundreds of different communities, and everywhere Jeep is playing part. And also they host outdoor events in all seasons. They do it in winter, they do it in summer, they do it in mud, they do it in the snow, they do it in the rocks, they do it in the desert, in the sand, they do it everywhere. Of course, they promote it with TV ads. They do branding and sponsoring outdoor events. They do some challenges, off-road trails. The funny thing, you can test drive your new Jeep on a extreme off-road course. And also they do extensive, if you go to Jeep site, you will see that they do extensive support. And one of the way is customization. So you can make your Jeep unique. Another thing, they have online tool where you can build your own trail, and you can get points or bonuses for that. So it's a very nice example of how to lead the category. Nobody beats Jeep. Even any off-roader, sometimes it's called Jeep, even it's not the brand Jeep. Let's quickly see what are other champions in the category leadership. And I just give you 5 examples. First of all is Tetra Pak. This is a company which I'm honored to be part of. I had some projects within and with like a supplier of Tetra Pak for 15 years. It's a great company. What they did, they felt the trend for the carton packaging, the packaging that saves more than the cost of the packaging itself in like 50, 60 years ago. And they created the whole category of carton packaging. Their main category is dairy, but they're also present in juices, wines, and even water. And any carton packaging is called one of the ways to understand how they deliver. Another company is Apple. I'm not sure I have to speak about the category leadership with Apple. I think everyone knows that. The next one is this sign of bull with the cape. It's a startup which became global. It's called Beyond Meat. It's a new trend for healthy food, which was grasped by this company. And what they did plant-based meat and meat products. And they did it some good, so they became like a unicorn company. It's huge now, and all the celebrities invest in it, and it works for many years on many markets. And I think it might be even present everywhere. You can find in the store there too. The next is the Whole Foods. It's a chain of supermarkets which also grasped the trend for healthy living, for healthy lifestyle. They created a special chain for a little more organic. They are more this, and it's not only the food, it's actually the whole lifestyle. It's about the some things made of environment, like, you know, bamboo toothbrush and different types of things which are environmentally friendly. It was recently acquired by Amazon, and it's one of the leaders in growth for the whole retail category. And the last one, you know, the Starbucks. It's not actually about the coffee, it's about the whole atmosphere. It's a #1 brand in coffee retail, but not due to the quality of the coffee itself. Sometimes people say the Starbucks coffee is not the best in the world, but still people go there and still it's a #1 because they created something, coming back to the term human-centric, something about the atmosphere, about the human, where you can feel yourself very comfortable. Okay, going down, coming back to the both marketing strategies and going down for tips, how you perform the strategies, how you do the leadership in the strategies. And it's also about the balance. It's a marketing mix, it's balanced marketing mix. And you balance the intellectual components with physical, with tangible components. Some people call them 4 Ps. That was initially, some people call them 5 Ps. I call them 7 Ps. And I will shortly speak about them. First of them is, of course, people, because business is made by people and made for people. So the strong leader should first priority be the people. A strong leader usually builds a great team and manages it effectively, and then they understand their customers, which are also people. So people to people, that's how they work. The second one is the positioning. Without clear idea of what they are doing, there is no leadership, you know. So you have to understand what is your brand, what is your product about, how you see it, what are the benefits, and why it is different. And this is the second crucial component, I should say, in the balanced marketing mix. And if we look at the leaders, the market leaders' positionings, they are usually strong, they are usually unique, and sometimes they are even hard to be copied because this is their natural feature. The third point is your product. Of course, product is very important, and leader's product is always a market benchmark. It's coming back to balance. It's a balance of quality, balance of varieties, of assortment, and balance of usability qualities also for the consumer. Next one is place. You have to sell, you have to reach your target audience, you have to have some points where you contact with them. So the distribution and availability is the key. So your product has to be reachable. So place is important. Every place, every point of contact is important. And today's trend for D2C, direct to consumer and marketplaces, is also a huge thing. It's coming down to 1/3 of the general sales that are going now through online. So it's going to grow. We are digitalizing, and digital presence is very important as well. The fifth point is price. Your price should be appropriate, affordable. It should fit the target audience profile. If you're too expensive, your target audience won't buy it. If you're too cheap, your target audience won't trust you. The number 6 point is push or promotion. You have to push your product to the market. You have to actively draw attention of your consumers. You have to push your awareness. You have to push the purchase intent. You have to push the loyalty. You have to work with consumer. And then it creates the 7th point, which is called pull. That's when your brand becomes the love mark, and people unite in the communities, and then they start to demand your product from the market. So they start to pull it from you. And that's the thing which is very important to have for the strong brand. So grow your community, have a positive brand experience, and ensure a good reputation. And that will make your lifetime value for your consumers very long term. So those are the 7 P's of balanced marketing mix. And again, we see that leadership is all about the balance. Next, we're coming down to the strong brand. What is a strong brand? Why it is important? Why we talk about strong brand? What does it mean, strong brand? Is it has like kilos of muscles, or it has, I don't know, 380 volts of electricity on it? What is it? So the best example is to compare it with big brand, so you can understand what is the big brand and what is the strong brand, what it's all about. Okay, back from theories to some nice pictures. First of all, a strong brand never say how good his factory is, how good his production is. Have you ever heard Coca-Cola boasting about its factories? Of course they have good factories. Of course there are sanitary and hygienic levels very high. But this is a basic level. You don't have to speak about this. This is, and if you see the brand talking about their production, talking about how good their resources are, okay, then you have doubts if they're strong enough, because they have to make sure that the people know how good their production is. Well, actually, how good their product is, actually, this is not a sign of a strong brand. The second thing is that a strong brand creates positive experience in every detail. For example, Tesla is famous for its electric vehicles. It may be not perfect as a car itself. There are like a better performance car or luxury cars, but the experience of owning Tesla, from even online buying it to online delivery. Did you know that Tesla can deliver it to your home? And you can open it with your smartphone, just putting some code in it, and you can operate from smartphone. It could be upgraded as your smartphone. So it's just your extension of your smartphone as the car. And it's really, the Tesla owners, they really, it's a special lifestyle. They really enjoy Tesla because it has not only the car unique features, but also some intangible features of relationship between the product and the owner itself. The next point is that strong brand constantly improves and upgrades because the life is about the progress, yes, and the thing is, if you're stopped, then you will be outdated. Then you will be obsolete. Nobody would want you anymore because you will be old, and the attention would be towards the younger and more attractive brands, or more modern. And the next point is that even in not expensive categories, like for example instant coffee, we see Nescafe Gold, but this brand looks sharp. That means that strong brands, they don't look cheap. So never look cheap, never economize on your looks. Make it great. So your brand has to be balanced in every detail, even in your design. Now, don't underestimate the power of first impression. Okay, let's talk about how winner and how the loser are different. If you see the two sportsmen, you don't know until the fight is over who is the winner, who is the loser. They both seem fit, they both seem trained, but one is the winner by all means, because if we talk about the product, about brand, how loser thinks of himself, they usually do the generic brand. And that's why they have to explain that they have a good production or something. So it's very hard to be a winner brand with the generic product. Actually, there is my observation that, for example, in dairy industry, where milk or like in sugar, the product, you cannot add super specific features to it. The product is generic, so there are no big winning brands in these categories. It's a very rare example, and they usually kind of with some specific benefits, and that's why these strong brands in these categories, they have special benefits which are a little bit way beyond the generic category. What does loser and winner speak about? Let's see. The loser usually speak about themselves. They try to explain that they are good, that they're kind of okay. But what the winner speaks usually about? The winner speaks not about themselves. They usually speak of what is important for the consumer. So that's the point. They move the point one level up. What does weak brand promise? The weak brand usually promise too much, because in marketing there is a term overpromise, and that's a bad thing, because sometimes advertising promises way too much for the consumer, but when it doesn't happen, people just drop this brand, and you don't have to promise too much. And what does winner promises? They just promise to be the solution to the specific need, to specific insight of the consumer. One more important is the comparison price versus value. Which factor is more important? Of course, for the winner, they are saying I'm cheaper. They are trying to get the attention that they are cheaper. But what if there is another brand who is a little bit more cheaper? Then you're a loser, right? So that means the winner focuses on the value. It can be like in a case with Jeep, it can be like 2 times more expensive than a regular car, but it gives you the off-road, the adventure value that prevails on this price difference. And there is the brand has to have mission, has to have purpose, has to have objective. What's the perfect objective for the loser? Well, in many cases you don't understand it. Maybe it's just to do business for the owner, maybe it's just some generic thing, but in many cases the losers, they don't have a clear, vivid objective, don't have the clear mission. And what's the objective for the winner? It's to do good, to do something, to make progress, to do something good to the world, to bring something new to the world. So this is the 2 main things. And if we summarize why the brand is important, why the strong brand is important, because losers, they will be knocked out by the cheaper brands. They will get less margin because they're cheaper, and they are less attractive because they economize on many things. That's why you have to build, if you want to be a winner, of course you have a strategy. Maybe you have a strategy to be not to be a winner, to be player number 2 or 3, then you don't have to do it. But we are talking about market leadership, then we're talking about strong brand. And the winner is attractive. It opens doors. Actually, in my experience, when I was working with Tetra Pak or Coca-Cola, you call some office and you say, hello, I'm from this Coca-Cola project. You know, they start to talk to you like you're interesting to them right away if you just calling them for the first time. Try to do the cold sale, try to do the cold phone call from the unknown company, unknown brand somewhere. You know, you get rejected. So it means the strong brand is usually attractive. As a strong brand attractive to women, you know, so strong brand attractive to customers. Bigger margins and market share. Of course, the strong brand has a bigger market share, which means better margins, better sales. But it's good for business as well. But also it drives progress. It drives the whole world into the new stage. So all factors are for the strong brand. You have to be strong to be the winner. And let's see some, maybe go to the more exact things, how to go with strong brands. Which brands consumer choose? What are the strong brands by the nature? First of all, some sweet brands, which give you excitement inside yourself, which are sentimental, which are sincere, which are true, honest, which gives you the positive feeling, which are touching. It's not always cheesy or gives you like me thing, but it also something which is like hearty, which is sincere. The brands which are nice. We come back to that with the example. Now, the next one is the brands that are challenger brands, which are bold, which are brave, which challenge the whole market, which are disruptive, which are daring. They do it a lot. The weak point of the challenger brands that if you call yourself a challenger brand, you have to prove that you're a challenger all the time, because once you proved it, it's not enough. Then you have to do something more. And that's why Red Bull is, as a challenger brand, is expanding its, trying to get a new attention for the new championship, new events or something. They new every time. Part is that brands, intelligent, educated, scientific, they know better, they elaborate, they deeply thought, they're technological. So those three main areas where the brands are go about. And actually, those are the samples of the brands. Some strategies, they are mix of these three main directions. And you have examples of the challenger brand. Red Bull, I also already talked about. It's a challenger brand which gives you the adrenaline kick. Heineken brand, which gives you a lifestyle kick in beers. Axe is a kick for the relationship with women, since it's usually the men's antiperspirant or deodorant. And there are like technological companies which are, of course, the challengers. The Apple company, they were the challenger first because they disrupted the whole category of the computers and the computation. Then there is Tesla. Then Tesla was moved into the more sweet and intelligent thing by the more challenger companies like in electric vehicles like Arrival or Rivian, and there are many more coming. Then Netflix was challenger in TV streaming, but now they are like intelligent project and more concentrated to the home feel. IKEA was a challenger, but now it's more about sweet feel of home, ideas for your home, ideas for your well-being, and so many different things. There is a 100% sweet brand called Raffaello. You know, these sweets which are completely romantic, and these I don't know, they're so sweet. Yeah, I don't know, I cannot find any more words for that brand, Raffaello. So there are strategies, but actually this is not enough for the good champion strategy. And let's go down. What else do you need for strategies? We're coming back. Consumers choose actually human-centric brands. And let's talk about human-centric. Let's talk about a little bit theory, what's behind human-centric is. And it's from the shift from industrial models to human-centric strategies. And initially the brands were industrial. The old brands, you know, they are like were manufacturer brand. And they were focused on manufacturer reputation. They produced some product, but they were not focused on the product on a product name. They were focused on their own brand name, and their own KPI, main KPI was sales revenue. And of course, they produced product, and there was a product level, and there was a competition coming, and they decided that they will do the product branding. They will do differentiation between the products, not between the manufacturers. Then they started to focus more on the product to diversify their qualities, their benefits. Then between products there was a competition, and when there is a competition, there is a market share. There's another KPI coming, that market share. Next level is consumer level, because there became too many products, how to choose. So they decided that they will understand their consumers. They went to the consumer marketing and produced consumer brands. And the consumer brand, it's built on the product benefits still. Still, there is a product as a big base, and but they start to consider consumer as a human, but not completely. For them, consumer is the they understand their usage model, their consumption model, and most for all, it's something neutral. It's just a human as a wallet with the money. So the consumer, it pays. And another KPI was added. It's a loyalty index. So if the consumer is loyal, it's good for the business. Then we go next step. It's a human level. Actually, consumer is a human. It's more than just a consumer of your own brand. It's a human with his own life or her own life, which is much bigger than just one brand. And the brand that start to understand it, it's called human-centric brand, because it's built now on the value needs of the consumer, of the whole lifestyle of this consumer. It is interactive. It understands the consumer. It has the ability to hear your consumer, has the ability to get the to get the messages from consumer back, you know. So this brand has the human community built above it, and this brand focuses on experience with the brand more than just the usage, and it is directed for the long-term relationship. And there is another KPI coming, which is called lifetime value. That's why this KPI is now very important, because many digital brands try to build their business as human-centric, but some of them don't try hard enough. Let's see the rules of the game. What is the human-centric? Like a solar-centric system where the solar is in the center and the planets are around, same goes with business. We put the human in the center, and we understand what planets are around this human, what values are around him, what insights, what desires, what brands, what communities, which environment he lives in. And that's where we focus on him. And how we do it? We try to sell the full picture in the context. It's not just the human in the center with values and insights, which is very important, but still, we see how the competitors behave. We see the social situation, the economy situation. We see the geographical situation. So everything else is taken into account. So that's how we build the human-centric brand. Everything else counts, and make it into the positive experience with consumer. That's the end of the series. So I propose for the leaders, so you transform your business, if it's not yet human-centric, to be the human-centric, be the transformer, be the transformator, be the transformation, to lead, to evolve. So the evolution is needed to make your business human-centric, and you can leader be the you will be successful on this path. That's coming back to the all examples I was speaking about. Most of the companies we spoke, they are trying to be the best experience with the brand on all the touch points, on all the consumer journey, and that's where it comes about. So this is pretty much about it, what I wanted to share with you about in a simple way, in a generalized way, what important points you have to understand. And there is coming back, what are the checklists for you? It's a balanced checklist. First of all, it's a personal points. You have to feel capable to be a leader. You have to be ready for the action. You have to have a reasonable doubts about yourself if you know the market enough. It's not the inferiority complex. You have to be strong. Just be prepared. You have to be ready for the action means better be prepared. Then what is prepared? You have to have personal capacities and you have to know the knowledge. So you have to have the knowledge library for you to be the leader, to have an argument to each question which comes on the way. Thus, you have to have a physical and mental health. And very important thing is that you have the support team. You have your family supports you. You have your friends support you. You have your you persuade them. You have your colleagues support you. Well, if you're a breakthrough and a challenger, sometimes it's hard. But if you have someone you trust to believe in you, then you have a team already. And of course, you have to have resources, because if you are wasted halfway, then there is no good. You have to go all the way to be full of energy, to be full of capabilities of everything. You have to have resources. So those checkpoints before you start anything, you go with it. Of course, you are. It's my personal view, and you can add whatever you feel necessary in your list. But nevertheless, let's go to the business points. First of all, leader, as we started with this, it has the vision. It sees the whole picture. It sees the way where to go. And then the leader chooses the business strategy. All the three business strategies are valid. You can work on either of them. You don't have to be the breakthrough business like Netflix did or Apple. You can be a business as Procter & Gamble. This is just fine, but you have to have the vision for that, and you have to have strategy for that. Then it comes to the balance of 7P marketing strategy, which comes down to the strong brand, and you have to manage your portfolio, your product and brand portfolio. And that comes down to the crucial thing that you have to plan your budget, you have to plan your resources, you have to plan your KPIs, you have to plan your goals and reach them and measure it on the way. So this is the checklist, and I think this is it. One more thing I wanted to share with you, that the great books which really struck me on my way, they also talk about the balance on the leadership. First book is the Stephen R. Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The second book is Maverick by Ricardo Semler. These authors, they have many more books, but this is where I, if you haven't already, this is where I ask you to start, because they're nice books, they are nicely put, they are not very business-wise, they're more like a conversation with intelligent person. And Malcolm Gladwell, he's a famous journalist, but he also writes about the business, the way he is. And the first book I read from Malcolm was The Tipping Point. It's a very nice book. So those 3 books I advise you to read. And this is it. Thank you very much. There are like 2 QR codes, one for the Mildberry, the branding agency. If you have questions, you can go to our website and ask for them. And the right QR code is my LinkedIn page. If you want to connect with me and ask me some questions, you're welcome. And this is it.
Thank you very much, Sergey. It was really interesting lecture, and we have greatly enjoyed. Thank you very much for sharing with us your experience, really valuable experience for the KMAP students and for the leadership development program students as well. And I think our guests also have enjoyed a lot. So if there are other questions, do you accept, Sergey? Is it okay?
If we have time, let's have some couple of questions, and of course, it's a dialogue.
So maybe someone from the audience is having the questions. So please speak louder if you don't mind.
Yeah. Not a lot question, but are we able to get the slide?
Yeah. We will do that.
Can you speak up or you have a microphone because I cannot hear you really well?
So one of the students have requested the slides to share the slides with us.
Of course, no problem. I will send my my presentation to the contact in the university, so then you free to distribute them. There is no copyright or anything special in this. This is all compilation of my experience and also open source knowledge. So it's just the way I put it. So, of course.
So, if you don't mind, can I ask you the question as the leader of some particular project that you have led in your life? What particular challenge have you faced with, and maybe how did you overcome this challenge?
You want to know like a business challenge?
Yeah, like the leader's challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's it's a huge question actually. Well, the leader's challenge is. I give you example. We had when I was in Tetra Pak, we had a big tender with huge global customer, and the thing is that the Tetra Pak is very well organized. It's well placed engineered company, but we needed to, in order, so were the competitors. In order to win this tender, we needed to go through some breakthrough idea, and we just challenged ourselves. We challenged our offer, and actually what we did better. We did more than just selling the product. We said, forget about the product, we're selling you the future, we're selling you the value, and we try to put it through the numbers. So we try to sell it in a balance. As in the beginning I said, we try to sell the vision, which was backed up by numbers, because if you sell just how good your product is and what are your qualities, then of course you lose the vision. So we try to sell the vision, and we try to sell, maybe that was also one of the tipping points which gave me the insight for this leadership presentation, for this leadership brands, because this is the balance. You have to always have something which is working for the stakeholders or shareholders as humans, and also as a one part, and one part is as for them as a businessman. So the main challenge is in any project is to keep this balance,
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, please.
First of all, I want to say thank you for this some presentations for us. And as a future leaders, I wanted to ask a question. So in order to be a leader, we should lead let's start with the team, our team members together. Could you please tell us about maybe some tips or your personal way how you lead or perceive people together?
Oh, it's a great question. What is a team? Team actually very important. It's number one in the 7 P's point, and the great team usually consists of at least 5 functions. And first function is the visionary, the people who envisions the final result and who is responsible for this result, the team leader. The second is the idea generator. The thing is that the person, there always must be a person who is thinking out of the box, who is very creative on your team. Sometimes even he's crazy, it's okay. You need to have him there. On the other side of balance, you have to have a very dull like a bookkeeper person on the team as well, who is very like, come on, this is will not work. This is because they speak the extreme way, in extreme way, but it's a sound of reason, sound of ground. You know, it will ground your project to the real life. So you have to hear his opinion as well. And there should be people who are like very agile, who are very energetic, who can do things, who can run and do things. And also there should be people. That's the first type is the leader. The second type is the creative. The third type is the retard. The fourth type is the energetic, and the fifth type is the people who are not energetic but who are very, like very solid. They are very, like the experienced people. They are not in a hurry. They will take their time, but they will do everything gradually. But they will do it. They will do the result. They are not energetic. They are not maybe young, but this is the 5 things of. The perfect example maybe in the sports. Maybe it's like the hockey team. It's 5 people and a goalkeeper. So every function is very important, and they are doing their thing. And usually when you're trying to do the business, that's why some startups are very good at it, because they unite from different functions. They have people on the same team. And of course, they represent, for example, the production represent the represent consumer. The finance represent the budgets and the banking account and everything else. But when they unite together, they can speak of their function of a representative. They can talk and they can give the idea. The second important thing about teams that you have to give everyone to talk their opinion, but then not just the opinion from their function, but also the second thing is how their function contribute to the general business and what general business has to consider to that their function works. That actually the thing so it's the balance between. So if, for example, the finance say we don't have the money, then there is the team not working. But when there is no balance because finance dominates. But when the team gives the question to finance, okay, finance, your finance, give us the idea how to get the budgeting, how to get the money. So you involve them, you interact with them. So the people inside, it's just not the functions who do not interact with them. They have to work together to come up with a solution. So this is the second important part about the teams. Just first one is to have all the appropriate functions, and second one is that those functions talk to each other and they come up with a reasonable solution. They can criticize, they can argue, this is fine, but they have to have the target, and this target is to come up with a solution. Usually that works.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the last question, please.
First of all, Sergey, thank you for your presentation. And may I ask the question in Russian language, if it's comfortable for you?
Of course, of course.
У меня возник вот такой вопрос, как лидер, как человек с большим опытом. Придерживаетесь ли вы политики, то что дружба дружбой, служба службой? То есть есть ли у вас близкие отношения с людьми, которые состоят в вашей команде, или вы пытаетесь оградить работу от личной жизни?
Yes, yeah, it's a good question as well. Well, it's also about the balance. We're coming back. We're coming down to balance again. Friendship is good, and colleague relationship is also good, but there are certain boundaries which you do not have to cross. If you, for example, cross you can be friends with your teammates, but to the certain point, because if you cross some line, you start become the abuser, And this is not the balanced thing. Once you cross the line which borders good relationship between friends and colleagues, then you become the destructive force for the team, you know, because then too much personal becomes in a business. Remember 9.9. If you become 9 in the relationship as friendship, and the business relationship becomes 1, then there is it's a poor model. You have to maintain certain balance. You can be nice and friendly. You can, of course, that's what we do in the team. We celebrate each other's birthdays. We know about the families. We do some events which are far beyond work. But still there are some boundaries, and when there is a deadline, when there is things you have to do, when you have to work, you always come back to the grounds where 9 points for the business is important. So keep this balance, try to keep it on not 5.5, not 1.9, other way, try to keep it 9.9 on both sides. Your personal relationship as humans and your business relationship as colleagues. Same thing.
Okay, Sergey, thank you very much again. And on behalf of the KMAP University and the Leadership Development Program, we would like to thank you very much for today's lecture. And we would like to wish you all the best in your future projects, at your job and with your colleagues. And so let's, hope for future lectures at the KMAP University. So,
of course, sure. It would be my pleasure. And it was my honor to be with you. And thank you for the invitation again. And thank you for the audience. I hope that there will be some leaders, and I hope to be an inspiration for the future leadership in Kazakhstan.
thank you very much.
Thank you.